Hello everyone, welcome to Planet Coaster 2. I think we've all been waiting to say those words for a long time, maybe a good few years now. It's finally here, and since release date I have been playing it, obviously. I haven't gone too in depth with anything yet, I've just been playing about really. When I first got the game I was overwhelmed by all the new stuff, so I just jumped into the sandbox, built a coaster, did some POVs of the blueprint coasters in the game, and then I thought, right, the best thing to do is to just have a look through the pieces. So I was looking through, playing about a bit with the scaling tool and trying a few of the new things, and then I just ended up placing down all the aquatic pieces to have a look at them really and see what you can do with them. And then I didn't get any further than that, and I decided I want to do a build and get started really with the game properly. So I haven't really practiced that much, so everything's just trial and error and learning as I go along. With this, I decided to just stick with the aquatic theme because the pieces were really cool, and it's really generic, but it's something that I thought I would do when I first got the game, which is just build the default themes, or at least one or two of them, just to get a feel for the game. So I decided to build a B&M Surf Coaster, which is a new coaster type in the game, like the one at SeaWorld Orlando. So I just put this layout together really quick. It's not the most realistic, probably. I don't know if you'd see some of these elements on a surf coaster, but I think it looks believable enough. It's quite a fun layout. So that was the simple part. It's really easy to build a coaster in this game, same coaster builder as Planet Coaster 1, slightly smoother. I still didn't make the smoothest coaster going, to be honest, even though I went back and forwards with the smoothing, but I just wanted to get something down so that I can start working on a station, and that's the only thing really that I build in this episode. The rest is just putting down some rocks and foliage and working a bit with the terrain and the water tools. And yeah, I didn't really know what I wanted to do for this station, so I started covering up the brake run with these pieces, and then I realised that that's probably not going to work with the actual station, so I ended up just using these for the base of the station in the end, and playing about with some poles and doing different scaling and whatnot with them. And yeah, I don't know, it's an okay build, but it's good for a first effort. I think there are a lot of things that are very different in this game. The UI is quite challenging to use because you have to go in and out of different menus, and the whole process just feels longer than it does in Planet Coaster 1. Some of the keyboard shortcuts have changed or are no longer there. You can't use control to ungrab things, but I'm sure you know all of these areas of pain if you've played the game already. But yeah, if you haven't, it's just slightly more frustrating to build than Planet Coaster 1. However, there's a lot more that you can do with it. There's a lot more options, and the scenery pieces are amazing. And I actually think the graphics are really good as well. I know there's a lot of controversy around that, and I know there's a lot of negative feelings towards the release. I've played it for about 8-9 hours so far, so I've barely touched the sides really with it, but what I've seen so far I think it's really promising. I really like the game. I've really enjoyed playing it despite the slight flaws. I guess the more I play it, the more I'll see the problems that everyone's talking about, but for the time being I'm on the honeymoon period, so I don't care. It looks good, it feels good to play, and I really like the pieces, and I'm not too fussed about coaster types and stuff like that, because I'm not the best coaster builder out there, but I feel like there's a decent selection anyway. I've heard there's problems with, well, not problems with, I've heard the switch tracks are only sort of available on one model, which makes no sense to me. I don't know why they'd sort of introduce that new feature and then not make it available on the coasters that you'd want to have it on. But I haven't got to that stage yet, so I'm still, I'm still enjoying myself with what we've got. This build actually, once I started putting the pieces down, it came together really easily. I was just using everything, all the pieces really, pretty much from the Aquatic set. I filtered down just to use that theme, and I quite like the colours we've got going on here. They sort of give off a bit of a Tokyo Disney Sea 22 Leagues Under the Sea sort of vibe, or whatever it is. Yeah, it come together pretty easily once I got to this point, despite struggling a little bit with the UI. But yeah, it's a very, very basic rectangle box station with some nice pillars and some detailing, and then I just elevated the roof slightly and gave it a sort of second roof cap for no real reason other than aesthetics, really, just to make it look good. And then onto something that everyone has praised the game for, but I actually struggled quite a bit with, and that's the new pathing system. To start with, I had quite a lot of trouble with it, and this led me to my first crash as well. For some reason it didn't like something I was doing, and the undo tool stopped working, and then all of a sudden it just crashed. So what you see here sort of gets lost, or something gets lost, and I lay out the path and make it go all the way around the station, and it ends up looking a bit better anyway. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. But yeah, I found the new pathing tool quite tricky to work with, just because there's so many different tools, and I couldn't understand how to use some of them. But I'm starting to get the hang of it, and obviously it's going to be a lot better than the path tool we had in Planet Coaster 1. So I just need to get more used to it, I think, and then that will be great. I managed to do a little bit of a cattle pen type thing at the bottom, just for a tiny bit of realism there. And yeah, all in all, this build isn't about the paths really, so I don't think it matters too much. Then you can see I dug out a lake. The terrain tools are pretty good, pretty much the same as the first game from what I can see so far. Obviously I've not done an awful lot with them, and the water looks really nice. One thing I was hoping for that we haven't got yet is recolorable water like you can have in Planet Zoo. I think that's something that I really do hope they bring to the game. Another thing that concerns me a bit is the weather. When it's raining, it always seems to be sunny. I haven't got to the stage where it's rained yet in the sandbox park, because you can't adjust the weather manually yet. So this is just from watching other people's videos, and I don't understand why there wouldn't be, cloudy rain and everything goes darker and more shadowed. But, well, not more shadowed, but the sun wouldn't be shining always when it's raining. But I don't know, maybe this is something that they just can't implement quite yet. So we'll have to see. I think there's the first update already coming today, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So I will have a look at the game after I upload this video and see what new features we've got. I mean, it's already November, so we're probably heading towards a new DLC quite soon already, and it's only just been launched. It tends to be what Frontier do, so that's something to look forward to as well. And something else I really do like actually is the adjust tool for the movement tool, so that you can adjust things by position, like snap to position. I think that's something that's in the console edition of the first game, and that's something that I'm glad they've implemented, because it's quite cool to be able to put things perfectly on a grid, even if they're not gridded pieces. Then the next thing that I'm working on is the fences for around the edge of the station, and I couldn't find many good pillars actually, so I just sort of did a custom one. But that's the great thing, like if there's pieces missing in this game, for the most part you can pretty much find another piece or rescale a piece and get the same effect. So it does make building quite a lot easier in the game. For the rest of this video then, it's pretty much just doing some rock work. New rocks are really cool and scalable as well, and doing some foliage. And using a foliage brush actually was really easy way to place all your foliage. We'll probably rarely place things individually now that we can do that. It really does help. You can do it as well with rock work, but I decided to do the rocks all custom in this build because I thought it would be well, to be honest, I just didn't think to use the brush for that, and I didn't know you could, so I just placed them individually. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this first quick build. Really enjoying the game, and I've already started working on something a little bit more creative with the theme and getting stuck right into the game, so hopefully that one will come soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.